you involve the clan leaders or the people in the community to empower them so that they too, like you, would develop that passion and commitment to really protect and conserve the Lake Lanao? Is there any, or do you have any plans of taking that challenge also to break that culture so that the people in the community would be empowered so that they too will also support you in this advocacy?
Yes. Once we get that, we start because ordinances is it's very hard in that part of this country. Once we have this provincial environmental code with the ordinances, then we have a massive information drive addressing those issues, what are in it for them, why are these, and all issues. We will be doing that. As of now, we are now in the process of having that approved with that. Well, once it is done, component of that is a massive information drive that will address specifically what is your concern about the Clanish culture of the market.
The map again. I would imagine, sir, that this is just an indicative map.
Proposed as a requirement of one of our modules, Integrated Environmental Management
Proposed
module.
map.
Yeah,
because if I am a landowner and my land falls under like strict protection zone, what are the limitations to my use? Can I not convert it into from agricultural to commercial or industrial zone and so on? So what are the boundaries? Because this is just drawn in a 1:50,000 scale.
Yeah. And what is happening there is just exactly what you were saying. We are going to introduce this and we are going to stop their livelihood now as they use them, because that is a protected area. The law says no. And part of our job, once it's done, is to convince them that this is it. And we are very lucky that some of this program are coming in to give them alternative livelihood from what they do on the issue of this is lupa niya ito. But he has to institute some of this. We have to provide them some inputs.
Good luck, sir, because that's the most difficult part. Because drawing a map is easy.
Yeah.
Getting agreements from the multi-stakeholders might be not too difficult,
Yeah.
might not too be easy, but convincing the landowners to give up their, commercial use for logging or so on may not be.
In fact,
almost impossible.
One or two of our GIR, sir, is addressing that livelihood, lagging and all that.
We teach them a course on both enforcement and negotiations, because as governance people, they do need to know how to enforce, but to enforce in the Philippines, you really cannot enforce just as easily as you would in other countries where there are traditions of enforcement. You have to do a lot of negotiation. The Maranaos are actually very good negotiators, as well as if you shop around Metro Manila in Green Hills and others, you know that they negotiate very well. Yes, ma'am, just add first and then we'll call Cora. Mike first, before Anna.
While ago, earlier, we had a talk with Sir Dean about Ateneo had taught us about doing the right thing the right way. So that answers on the question of Clanish. In one of the modules, you had given an emphasis on utilizing the Al-Khalifa. Al-Khalifa is including in the module all about Islamic concept. So people will always be strengthened to do the right thing in a right way by reviewing our own Al-Khalifa.
I always, just for those of you who have not been my students in this area, when I teach public ethics, it's very clear to me what are the things I tell my students they should be faithful to, and what they should do: integrity, honesty, telling the truth, making decisions based on science. All of those things have to be done. But it's not enough to do the right thing. In the Philippines, you have to do the right thing the right way. You have to be able to defend it, adapt it. You have to be culturally sensitive. You have to be religiously sensitive if that's important. You have to be politically conscious, because doing the right thing without context is just, you will end up bruised and battered and probably ineffective. So we try to teach our students how to maneuver in a very tough setting where you have to negotiate these things. I mean, as simple things as enforcement. Yeah, parang.
Good morning. I'm Cora Claudio. I regret missing your presentation because I came from a class. I host a multimedia broadcast program at DCRH, Kalikasan, Kaunlaran. And I am really delighted to have so many listeners in Sharif Kabunsuan and North Cotabato for whatever reason. No? There is, I think the level of interest in environment and sustainable development is really high in your area, which is good for you. My question is, how is the business sector responding to our call for protecting the environment and promoting sustainability? I noticed that your socioeconomic profile has a great percentage of services, no? Is that, I mean, services of government? Government, okay. I thought you might have call centers there already. Okay, because that's the nature, that's the great majority of services nationally, I think, no? How is that smaller percentage of industry responding? And my second question is that our group, Earth Institute Asia, we have been helping Mindanao because one of our trustees is Inday Arsenas, who is senior advisor to the Mindanao Business Council. Yeah, we had recently, not too long ago, late last year, hosted with the MAP the first Peace and Investment Forum. That was attended by more than 100 top-level CEOs and investors. Unfortunately, right after that, we had the massacre, no? About 2 weeks after, so it kind of disturb the goodwill that we had already created. No? If you are asked by a group like ours that is interested to develop a program that we can do there, what will that be? So that's my two questions. How is the business sector responding? And what will be a good program that will relate peace and investment and sustainable development, environment and sustainable development in your province?
Si Inday po, I had a talk with her several times. I understand she is a consultant to NGCP we had. Lanao Sur is very poor, one of the poor. I mean, and right now, what we need are livelihood programs, grassroots livelihood programs to trigger economic activities that will somehow result to businesses increasing their livelihood. That's all. That's the only thing we need now there.